Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Peter Gardner and this is Gardenering. Today we're going to do a project review. I worked on a laser cut clock project. I really enjoyed the laser cut ukulele and the laser cut hurdy-gurdy that I made. And I made this laser cut clock just recently and it turned out pretty well. It was a fun little project. It cost about $20 on Amazon. I'll put an affiliate link in the description below so you can find it if you want to do it. Remember that it is an affiliate link, and so I'll get a little kickback from Amazon if you purchase it with my link. So today I'm going to do the review before I do the making of video because I want to be a little more generous with your time. You can see the review and then you can just go and do your thing. And if you don't want to watch me making the clock, I enjoy watching other people make things, so I'm putting both up. So all in all, I think this was a fun project. I think that kids would enjoy doing it. The resulting clock is pretty cool. You can see it's pretty detailed. It's got a lot of layers of design so that you kind of get a clock with a little more character than a lot of the clocks you find. I think that kids from 6 to 18 would enjoy making this project with an adult. Maybe they could find the pieces and as you call them out, something like that. I don't think that a young kid, I don't think that someone under 12 could probably do it themselves because there are a lot of pieces and the directions aren't 100% clear. They're a little different than other directions. The way they differentiate parts is by the joints. So where these two pieces run together, if there's a joint, then the call out in the instructions is the number of the joint. So this joint could be 6B, and then this piece over here could fit into 6A and 6G. So the joints are listed. It's not this is part 6. It's listed as where the joints are. That makes a certain kind of sense, but it also doesn't follow an established set of parameters, which all the other laser cut kits seem to have, listing parts with numbers. So that was a little bit confusing at first, but once you figure out how that works, it's not rocket science to figure out how to make the rest of it work. One of the features is there's a little piece on the back here that you can turn. It comes off, and then you can set the clock, replace the battery. You set the clock with this little thing here, and you put the battery in there. Pretty easy. You just put it back on. You just line up the slots, slides on, and then you twist it. It's a nice clock. It's pretty. At first, I didn't think I was going to like the fact that it had a veneer on it already, but the veneer is pretty good looking, and it doesn't take away from the clock, I think. I think this looks pretty good. So that's my review. Let's get to the making. Here we go. We're going to unbox. Instructions. This is actually something that I didn't quite understand when I bought it. It's laser cut, but it has this glossy coating on the front, this texture, and I'm not sure that I love it. I guess we'll see when we get down to brass tacks. No, I guess we'll see when I get a little more finished with it. See how it looks. So it's not a super complicated kit. It has just 4 sheets of laser cut parts. Looks like a plexiglass cover for the clock face. We've got clock parts and the movement. Cool. I've worked with a lot of these before, making clocks. All right, this is pretty straightforward, so let's just jump right in. We're looking for piece 8. That just fell out, so I'll just set it aside. We're looking for piece 8. There are piece 8s all over the place together, but this kit looks like it was made to fit into a small box rather than to be easy to understand when taking pieces apart. And that's fair. It did fit into a small box. In fact, it fit very, very well into that small box that had cardboard cutouts to make it smaller, to fill up some of the space inside. I mean, I'm not wrong. This says 8 and this says 8. They're 2 different pieces. And we've got these pieces, which are called piece 8, which is really weird. I do appreciate the fact that it shows you, it says which piece goes into which slot, which is a pretty cool feature. These look reversible, so I'm not taking particular care in which side goes in which side. All right. here's what we're working on. Here's what we got. It looks good. It's not piece 8, because so this says piece 8A, but clearly this is not called piece 8A because it is because the pieces that go into it are listed as 8A. So this says 8A on it. The numbering system is a little weird, is all I guess I'm trying to say. It might behoove me to have a razor blade on hand to fix the connections. Oh, I can't find one right close to me, so I'm just going to keep working. I also appreciate that it says, it says maybe this is the register of where it says 8A on here, and it says 8A on here. Maybe this is just like the register of where this connection is. So this is called the 8A connection. And then when you, the numbers are carved right above the slot. So when you put the item into a slot, the number is covered, so you don't see it again, which is pretty cool. I appreciate that. The big pieces out. Okay. Seems pretty straightforward. This is the back. This goes into the back. And it is facing with the tall one, close to the piece we're putting it into. I'm trying to get pieces that were laser cut but didn't get ejected on their own. I'm trying to get a couple of those pieces out. It's real small and fiddly. This is the back, and this is the line. I don't know, it says line right there and points at this thing. I don't exactly understand what that means, but trying to get the pieces out from the parts bag. Now it says take the screw, and we're just going to screw the movement on to the back. Just get that nut on there. Oh, I have a pair of pliers. Okay, just put that on there firmly. And then we put on the seconds hand, or the hour hand. And the next one, these have a little plastic coating on them that would behoove us to take off, I believe. I don't think it doesn't mention that, but there is definitely a plastic coating on these faces that needs to come off. So I guess that's a gotcha, a potential gotcha. I imagine that it wouldn't affect the functioning of the clock, but it's going to look a lot better because now this is black, shiny black, instead of hazy black. Use the pliers again to kind of push it down on there. Okay, and then there's the red hour hand, which seems hopelessly unthematic, but I don't care. So one of the things the picture shows is it shows from the side that all of these are supposed to be parallel. Got a nice movement to it. So there we go. There's our next step. Parallel to the side, more or less. Certainly not going to be interfering with each other. And then it says symmetry, which doesn't make a lot of sense, except maybe it's trying to say point them all up. I don't know. Weird. Now we get the base. All right, and then we need those two pieces we made before. Yeah, I guess these aren't numberings. They're not for numbering. They're for the numbers aren't for numbering the pieces. They're for numbering the joint. So this is the 5B joint, And I look on here and I see the 5B, and I'm like, okay, I know that this is where this is supposed to go. Kind of cool. It's a different way to do it. Unexpected. B, not 5A. I think they should use letters, and the letters should correspond to the step in which you use it. So you always can look and say, oh, this is being used in step 7, 7A, 7B, whatever, like that. This piece goes on in this position, but it just goes on after a piece goes under it. I didn't look closely enough at the picture. Well, that is unfortunate. That is super unfortunate. I had to pull that off, and it broke the peg that was there. That sucks. Maybe I can write the company and get a new piece. Well, it doesn't matter for this piece. It matters for the other piece. Seems like a pretty critical piece, honestly. That sucks. So this piece right here just broke off when I put the wrong piece on and tried to pull it off again. So now we don't have the peg that this piece is supposed to go onto to hold it in place. Which is kind of unfortunate. I think we could substitute a little glue for... I have some wood glue, but the top has been left open for quite a while. Well, that is not the prettiest solution I've ever seen to this problem, but I'm gonna try to go with it anyway. Just scrape the glue off and hope it sticks together. I got a little towel, and I'm going to attempt to use. I've wetted it. I'd use mineral water because I don't have soapy water as close to hand as I would like. Though I do have soapy water, or I do have still water not too far away. I find myself wishing I could get deeper into the nooks and crannies, but we're just gonna have to see how that turns out. Turns out, looking reasonable. Not perfect, but the glue will dry and clear up, hopefully. All right, let's get back to it. That diversion took longer than it seemed to take. Okay. Step 16. Here is that little piece. Here's one of those little pieces. I have to get down to a lot shorter than that. Here's our last piece. Here's not our last piece. Here's our other piece that we need for this step. Okay, we got 1, 2, and 6. All right. There's another piece, holding this together. So I could have maybe not glued it. I'd read ahead in the instructions. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about the veneer, the fake veneer on this wood. It's my favorite. Okay, so we did that. Now we are going to take our covered piece of plastic. Well, they only put covering on one side, and now the other side is super scratched up from being shaken around in that plastic for so long. That is really unfortunate, and I think that's a no-go. That's a call the company, see if they were going to replace the piece, and if they don't, this is not a recommended piece of That is totally scratched up. I'm just going to see if I can put it together, and if it looks okay, then I guess I'll keep it, but I am very disappointed. See if I can show you the scratches on this. Oh yeah, there you can see, you can totally see them. See all that? That's never going to come off. That's all scratches on the. Maybe the company will send me another one. U-Gears is willing to send you replacement pieces of your laser cut project break. Maybe this company is as well. I'm not gonna hold my breath about it, but possible. Pardon me. I won't say that. I'll say that doesn't look very good. And I'll leave it at that. I'm always just kind of delighted by these laser cut puzzle, or not puzzles, these laser cut projects. How interesting they go together, and how much time was obviously spent in the kit and making all the pieces fit together and connect to each other, and just slide right in. It's pretty cool. I decided to take that one back off and see if I could put the other one in upside down where it goes, so the compromised or won't be visible. I guess it's not. Goes in one side. Okay. Well, I don't know. One side goes the right side down, and the other one doesn't. Now we can do these parts again. Okay. There's 6As. All right. Well, there we go. Oh, I like it. It's okay. There's another thing I like about it. The movement of this hand is smooth. The second hand is smooth, so it's not going to click. I have a I have a clock near my workstation, and it ticks. And I always worry that it's going to get picked up by the mic, but I know that my mic isn't loud enough to, or sensitive enough to pick that up. But it's still distressing. So this is a nice option. And if you look at the whole thing, it's quite pretty. It looks intricate and well thought out. I like the way it looks. So this is why I bought it, because I saw it and I thought, gosh, that's pretty cool. I should try that one. And it did not disappoint in terms of the looks. And I'm gonna go back and say I don't mind the veneer. It is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Overall, just as a put together piece, the veneer is pretty nice looking. There are some spots where you can see where the laser cut, where they didn't do the laser cuts, so the pieces would be flat packable. And I think that if I had taken a little more time and kind of maybe scribbled some marker on those or something like that, it might look a little better. But overall, it's not super noticeable. I mean, you can see one here and one here. They could have coached you and said, mark this one so it's not mark here so it's not visible, because these ones that are in the face are super visible, and I don't really love them. Yeah, I think it's really pretty. I would be happy to give this to a friend as a gift, or to have it in my bedroom. This would be a nice little bedside table's clock. I can imagine it on a nice desk. I think this would be something you could do with your teenager, or a kit you could just give to your teenager and have them do it, because I broke a piece for sure, and that's my fault. If I had paid more attention, I wouldn't have done it. But overall, I call this a success. I think this is a cool clock, and I am proud to have made it. Oh, and I figured out the thing about this back. It can slide on, and then I think it spins. It can spin, so it's kind of locks in place. There we go. There, now it's locked in place. Cool. Okay, that's much nicer than I thought it was. I just thought it sat like this and kind of sagged and looked lame, but it doesn't. you turn it and that's done. Okay, except for the scratches on this thing. If this thing weren't scratched, I would unreservedly say buy this kit. But not, well, maybe not unreservedly, but I would this would be a definite buy if that wasn't so scratched. And even scratched, if you look, it's hard to see where the scratches are. You can see my neon lights above my workstation, and there's my big photo light, or my big videographer light, video light. I don't know what you call it. Softbox. That's my softbox. Yeah, okay, that's enough of those. And and you can see my camera right above. I think that's what this. It's another light. It's a can light that I have on my ceiling that I don't use. All right, well, this is great. I'm gonna call it quits and say goodnight. Before I go, I would humbly request that if you liked what you see, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss videos in the future, and ring the bell for notifications so that whenever a new video comes out, you get an email or a notification. If you could do that, I would deeply appreciate it. And speaking of deep appreciation, I know you have a choice in how you spend your time, and I deeply appreciate that you spend some of it here with me. I hope it was fun. Thanks very much for watching. Your support means the world to me. And this project took 1 hour and 8 minutes for me, all told. That's the recording time of this video. I'm going to edit it down, obviously, but it took an hour to make. Not bad. Quick little project. Enjoyable. All right. And I will see you in the next video.